my life, I guess, before. I will share a little bit, but I wanted to share how I changed, how God changed me, and what He's been kind of doing with me. I graduated high school in 2000. I went to Chatsworth High School, it's like in the Valley. And right after high school, I kind of remember I was living at home. I was living with my mom. My brother was in jail, and we were kind of pretty poor back then. I was going to church, OMC. I knew Pastor Jacob from high school. Now we were in college. I was attending there, but I remember I didn't really, how should I say? I missed a lot of Sundays. I kind of came late to church, things like that. And I kind of remember I felt like a lot of people were kind of judging me at the time because, everyone in college, right? They'll talk about, I'm going to whatever UCLA or whatever, right? And I felt like, where are you going, right? So, I'm going LACC, stuff like that. And it wasn't even just that I was going to LACC. It was just like I really didn't know what I was doing with my life. I didn't know what sort of major I have, or and yeah, I just couldn't click with these college people, right? And I didn't look that nice, right? I used to wear these baggy pants, like solo jeans. You guys know what solo jeans is? Like a parachute kind of. And I used to, I had my bangs, right? I had these long bangs, like it was down to here, shaved my head. Yeah, it sounds weird, but that was the thing back then. But anyway, that's kind of how I looked, right? So but the thing is, once you get into college, it's like people start kind of saying, okay, we can't be no kids anymore, right? But it's kind of hard for me to change. But anyways, that's kind of how my life was. I remember around 2001, so this is about a year after I graduated high school. The cops busted into my house and they arrested me for some sort of crime I did like earlier in the year. And it just caught me by surprise. I thought I got away with it, to be honest with you. But I guess I didn't. Luckily, I was bailed out that night. Someone posted bail, and I had to kind of go to court like every month, pretty much. And I guess the legal system is just really slow. So then, I'll go to court and they just be like, "Oh, come back next month. We decided, whatever." So that's kind of how it was. And I remember, my whole family was stressing out. So my brother was still in jail. My mom, she's of course stressing out because it's just me and her. My father died when I was young, so then it was really be her. My mom, she's on disability. I mean, she can walk around, but she's just in pain and stuff like that, so she couldn't work. But we were just living out. Me and her was just living off her welfare paychecks pretty much. But it's like now I might go to jail, and I remember I was kind of stressing out that time, just like, what am I doing, I went to church one Sunday, and there was a friend. I didn't have a lot of friends, like I said, but there was a few people. I mean, Pastor Jacob was there. He wasn't a pastor at the time, but he was there. But yeah, there was someone else, and he kind of asked me, I didn't really talk to this guy for many months, and he just came up to me and he asked me to come out to retreat. So I said, okay, whatever, if I don't have to pay for it, I'll go. And so he kind of covered for me, and I went, and I guess one of the times at retreat, and during that retreat is a time when I I'll be honest with you, I think that's the time when God transformed me. So I had a time to sit down with him. We were kind of talking, and I kind of shared with him how I felt like people at church were kind of, judging me. It's hard for me to get to know any of them, and it's really my own fault. I really didn't have much of a future, right? I mean, if you really look at me at that time, it just kind of looks like a loser, right? I mean, if you're talking to someone like, hey, you know, what school you going? Oh, I'm not really going to school. Oh, what are you going to do for your future? I don't know. It, you know, it just doesn't sound cool. But that's kind of how it was. And, you know, I was just kind of sharing with him, like, you know, and also, you know, I have this court that I have to go to, and, you know, and my life just sucks. I remember I was sharing with this guy, and he kind of said to me that, so this guy's like, he was kind of like the ideal Christian, you know, he was like praise leader, you know, he was cool, tall, you know, people say he's handsome, but I don't know, I'm a guy, so, right? But then, you know, he's that kind of guy, and he was kind of sharing with me that I guess he did some shady stuff, like, I don't know, at some point. And some people at church kind of found out, right? And they started kind of, you know, badmouthing him. And, you know, he was kind of like telling me the reason why I was sharing this with me was because he was kind of saying, you know what, he did some bad stuff, and, you know, people are, you know, spreading, I guess, gossip. And whether it's true or not, it's gossip. And he was telling me that sort of stuff doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter, and, you know, so he was kind of like telling me from my life, you know, like, yeah, okay, so some people might be, you know, talking, I don't know, whatever, you know, they might be judging me and, you know, thinking that I'm a loser or whatever. I might be poor and, you know, my life might kind of suck. But he was kind of sharing with me that none of that stuff matters. You know, whether they're talking bad stuff about, you know, my friend, or if they're talking bad stuff about me, or if my life sucks, none of that matters. And he said this, and this is the thing that kind of changed me. He said the only thing that matters is God. Now, I'll be honest with you, you know, I know that may not mean a lot to you guys. I feel like that's something God specifically said to me. So it doesn't exactly work for everyone else. But to me, that it works for me. It just kind of meant that, you know, even though at that time my life sucked, right? None of that mattered. Only thing that mattered was God. And to me, it made sense because God, or I should say, I mattered to God. So it just, I don't know, it just kind of worked out for me. So anyways, either way, aside from that, I actually started to go out to church more often. I was coming out to Friday nights. Actually, you know, got to know some people at church, and, you know, it was kind of strange. It was weird. My life status didn't really change. You know, I still was going to, like, you know, what should I say, no job, very little school, like 3 units, maybe 6. I was really going to school only just to get that fast for money, you know, but yeah, I still didn't know what I was going to do. But, you know, I was going out to church, and I just felt so much more peace, you know. And the following year, I went to court again, and this was like, you know, this was the time we're gonna settle everything, right? And I had a public defender, and he didn't talk to me ever. Yeah, I guess he doesn't care. It makes sense, right? But anyways, we went to court, and I'll be honest with you, that day I was like ready to go to jail. I was like, you know what, if it happens, it happens. I went to court, and the judge was speaking, and he says that he's going to dismiss the case. Just like that. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I just didn't know what to think, you know. I really feel like God is the one that pardoned me. Because, I mean, I did the crime, the evidence was all there. But yeah, the case was dismissed. But anyways, I kept going out to church, and, you know, I was kind of still stressing out for money, right? So I got a job. And I remember I was working, I got the job at McDonald's. This was like, let's say like 2000, I don't know, 3, something like that. So I got a job at McDonald's, and man, I'll be honest with you, McDonald's was really tough, but I really couldn't do anything else, you know. And I remember I was going on at the time still, and a lot of you guys here, it was tough because a lot of you guys here, I knew back then you guys would make fun of me at church. You know, I remember there's this one guy, I'm not gonna say who it is, but he is in this room, right? I remember this guy would, whenever he sees me at church, it doesn't matter if it's one time a day, 3 times a day, it doesn't matter. Whenever he sees me, right, he'll say something that doesn't even make any sense, right? He'll just point at me like this, and he'll just yell, like, doesn't even make any sense. McDonald's! And he'll just smile at me, just, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I was, it's just, made me so angry sometimes. I'm at church, I'm trying to be good, and I can't tell them, all right, man, we'll say that again, I'll choke, I can't do that, you know what I mean? But anyways, but yeah, I really feel like, even though, it was kind of tough working at McDonald's, I was still very thankful to God, because like I said, I couldn't get a job anywhere, and I probably couldn't because, just the way I looked, wearing baggy pants, I would go to these places like Gap or, just walk down like Vermont and Western, just trying to look for a job, and, everyone just, no. McDonald's? Yes. Oh, thank you. But, I really felt like this was something that God was providing for me, so I was so happy. And I kind of remember that God was just kind of opening doors. This one time, all of a sudden, someone just walks up to me and says, hey, you want to be a leader for junior high? Like, me? Talking to me? I thought about it, and I actually, became a junior high leader. It was just so kind of strange, and I just couldn't even believe it. And I remember when I was junior high, a lot of parents that just look at me like, oh, someone's like, yeah, I said, hey, it was just weird, and, God was just opening up these doors for me. But yeah. And I became 23 by this time. I was like 23 years old. And, a lot of my friends were kind of graduating now. And I was, I really didn't have a future. I was still working at McDonald's. And I remember I was praying to God. I was like, God, I can't keep doing this, I did become a manager by then at McDonald's, but minimum wage was $6.95 Yeah, $6.75 back then. And when I became a manager, they paid me $7.25, right? It was like 50 cents, man. Shoot. But it was horrible, right? But but yeah, I remember I was praying to God. I was like, God, I can't keep doing this. I got to do something else. And I actually gave a serious thought. I was like, I'm kind of starting late. My friends are kind of graduating now, but maybe I should go back to school. And one of the pastors at ONC kind of told me, hey, there's a scholarship that we're giving out. Why don't you sign up? And I said, I can't sign up for scholarships. I don't know how to write essays. I don't know anything like that, And this guy said, you know what? No, it's not even like that. It's like pretty much guaranteed, right? So I said, okay, try it. And I turned in my application, and I got a call from one of the pastors that said, hey, I got your application. I'll let you know when the check is ready, right? Yeah, so I was waiting. It's been like 3 weeks, and he's not calling me back. So I decided, I went to his office to ask him, nicely, hey, where's the money, I said a very nice, 안녕하세요, pastor, hey, whatever happened to, and, he kind of looks at me like, oh, you know what? I don't know what happened with your application. I'm sorry, you didn't get it. And it was just kind of strange to me because I was just feeling like, you know what? Everyone else around me got it. And I thought it was pretty much guaranteed. I even got a call from this pastor saying I'm going to get it, but I didn't get it. And I was just kind of like, it doesn't make any sense. And I was seriously, thinking about going back to college because, at the time. But I'm going to... Anyways, that's kind of what happened. And a few months go by, and my brother's out of jail by now, and he says that there's an opening at a Korean bank, Pacific City Bank. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I can't get hired, man. You know what I mean? Because just everything about me. This is a Korean bank, very formal. These people are filled with people that are exactly like your parents, right? Just straight up ajumas and ajishis and even harmonies and harabajis, you know? And it's just, I was like, I can barely speak Korean, right? So I was like, man, I don't know if I can. He said, what have you got to lose, right? So I said, okay, I'll try. Now my hair was no better than before. Actually, it was worse because I had red bangs by now. So it was like red and, you know, I don't know, I remember I made like partial blue and stuff like this, kind of rainbow color. But anyways, and I was thinking, should I cut it off? I gotta go to the interview? They're like, no, they're gonna fire, they're not gonna hire me anyway, so why risk it, right? So I put gel on my head. For some reason, gel and red hair makes it turn real dark. I don't know, it's like magic. But anyway, so I did that, I slicked it back, I was like, okay, you can't really see it, okay, let's do this. So I went for the interview, and it was straight up audition, you know, straight up. Oh, 안녕하세요, yeah, you know, I'm talking to this guy, and you know, whatever, and he likes me. And he actually says, when can you start? So I said, today, you know? I started the next day. It's funny, you know, because I stopped going to junior high. I was actually wearing my junior high graduation slacks and shirt and everything, you know what I mean? But, you know, that night, I remember I had to, I gotta go buy some clothes, man. I can't keep wearing this. And, you know, that's kind of what I did. And I literally started working the next day. I've been there for, you know, close to 11 years now. I mean, all of these things that happened, you know, I was kind of sharing with you a little earlier that, you know, the church didn't give me a scholarship. I honestly believe to this day, the reason why I didn't get that scholarship was because God straight up said, you know what, you don't need it. I got something better for you. And that was like a legit career. My position right now there is first vice president, IT officer. It's all right, it's okay. You know, I really feel like if I look just back in all this, I'm like, how did I end up like this? You know? I feel like even now, God is just opening up doors for me, you know? I stopped teaching the high school about a year ago here, and I was just like, man, I don't know, I was kind of getting burnt out and everything, and even now, you know, Pastor Jacob kind of asked me earlier to say, hey, you want to be chief signing? And I was like, chief signing? You say what? You know, it was just kind of strange, and, you know, he actually gave me a chance, and I was just thinking like, man, dude, these other chief signings, you know, at this church, man, they're gonna hate me, you know? But no, they kind of like me, so it kind of worked out. But I mean, you know, I feel like God has just given me all these opportunities. I mean, as I shared this testimony with you guys, the thing I want to say is, you know, I know everyone knows that God has the ability to change your life, pretty much, you know. But I really think that the reason why God was able to kind of, you know, help me with my life is because, you know, at some point I actually decided, you know what, I just need to invite him in my life. You know, I'm here to serve you guys as best I can as Deacon. You know, Pastor Jacob is your shepherd here. You know, we have accountability groups that, you know, many of you guys are a part of, and that's great. But I'll be honest with you, nothing that we do can change you. The only person that can change you is God himself. And I'll be honest with you, the only way he's going to change you is if you straight up say, hey God, I need you. I can't do this by myself. I just can't believe all the things that I've been blessed with. I have no education, you know, and here I am. I'm more successful than most of my friends right now, you know. And I really honestly think that I'm here because God gave it to me. That's my testimony.